Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is another review of the week for WWE, and this week I actually feel like we had a pretty decent week. I feel like storylines were kind of flowing really nicely. Once we get around this time of year, I feel like things start to get a little bit more together. I feel like WWE is like, okay, we have to prepare for WrestleMania. They start kind of getting things in flow and check, and then after WrestleMania it's kind of all over the place. But so far I like the flow of the storylines and everything, so things haven't been too crazy. But that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I will be rating everything, and we're gonna get started with Raw. So Raw this week actually opened up with segments that I was actually really happy about, and we got a match that was pretty cool. So it started out with Randy Orton coming out. He got a great applause, got a great reaction from the crowd. Basically it was just talking about Royal Rumble and all of that, and then was talking about AJ, of course, because him and AJ have this little feud that brought out AJ, and then they were talking about who's gonna be the winner of the Royal Rumble, eliminating each other, all of that, you know. But what really got me excited was when Drew McIntyre just shows up out of the blue and is like, I'm gonna win the Royal Rumble, is just very confident, walks down to the ring, and then basically challenges them to a triple threat match. And I was so excited because I feel like Drew has been very underutilized in the past. Obviously before this little portion of his run, earlier in the year, he was basically just like Shane's bodyguard, and it was really not doing him any favors. He's really good in the ring, and it was exciting to see this match. I'm not normally into triple threats, but I was excited to see this. This definitely didn't go as long as I would have liked, but I like that Drew ended up scoring the win in the end, so that was awesome. And I liked that that's how it started out. After that, we got another short match. This was Ricochet versus Mojo Rawley. Ricochet won that. It wasn't too much. Wasn't the last time you would see Mojo though. He did show up again later. Then we also got a rematch of Charlotte Flair versus Sarah Logan. I don't really understand why this is a feud right now that's going on. I'm very confused by it. But it's happening. They're both in the Royal Rumble. I don't know if this is like Charlotte's getting all these wins. I'm not really sure why she's getting all the wins. I feel like at first I was like, maybe they're going to try to push Sarah a little bit, but obviously I shouldn't have had that high of expectations. So, maybe she's going to eliminate Charlotte in the Royal Rumble. I don't know, but those two have already said they're going to be in the Royal Rumble. So there you go on that. Then we got probably the best segment of the night, which surprisingly, I don't know how this happened. So Brock Lesnar came out. He came out with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman was talking as he does. The crowd honestly was doing great this night. They were giving a lot of reaction. They were booing them. Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar acted like they were gonna leave. They came back. They're talking, and then all of a sudden, R-Truth comes out, and he just is one of the most hilarious people I've ever seen. He really just makes the show when he's on. So he's just talking and he's like, he's declaring himself for the Royal Rumble, and he goes on this whole thing about how he's going to, you know, whatever, be in the Royal Rumble, and then he says he's going to eliminate Paul Heyman from the Royal Rumble because he thought Paul Heyman was in the Royal Rumble, which how that made sense in R-Truth's head, I don't know. And then Paul Heyman proceeds to tell him, I'm not in the Royal Rumble, Brock Lesnar is in the Royal Rumble, which then R-Truth was like, okay, actually I'm not going to be in the Royal Rumble. But this whole time, the funniest thing about this to me was that Brock Lesnar was cracking up the entire time. And you could tell it was like kind of like a genuine laugh. Like it was funny, okay? So this whole segment was great. If you can watch it on YouTube, check it out. It's really funny. Of course, R-Truth ends up getting taken down by Brock Lesnar, and then that results in Mojo Rawley actually coming out. As R-Truth was leaving, he ends up stealing the 24/7 title from R-Truth, and we have a new 24/7 champion. Okay, so that was that. Then we also got Asuka and Becky doing their contract signing. I don't really know what the point of these contract signings is, but here we are. And the whole time Becky is very like kind of like nervous. She's not really like talking. She's very like quiet. I did like Kyrie kind of like poking at her with her umbrella. I thought that was pretty funny. But you could definitely tell that Becky was like nervous about this match. She was like unsure of herself if she can beat Asuka. She hasn't beat her. So it was really, really interesting dynamic. I talked about it last week how I like this dynamic because it gives her character some dimension. So that happened, and then literally like after they signed the contract, Asuka spits this green mist into Becky's face, and you would have thought that Becky got like acid thrown in her face the way she reacted. And I actually appreciate the reaction. I appreciate her acting with that, because if this green mist is gonna make you lose matches, like it needs to be this painful. So, you know, everybody's running down there, the trainers, everybody's like running down there trying to clean her up, and she basically gets on the mic. It was a little, the promo was a little, it started out a little odd, but it got better, and she kind of came back around to being her man character, and it was cool. I'm excited for that match, obviously. A couple other things that we got the Viking Raiders versus the Singh brothers. Eric Rowan came out again. This time he got bitten by what was ever in his cage. I don't know. Anyways, we also got part 3 of Aleister Black versus Buddy Murphy. Now, I know some people were like, this is really annoying. We've seen this match over and over again. How many times have I had to see Roman Reigns and freaking Baron Corbin in the same ring? Too many. Too many. Also, I totally missed the fact that I didn't talk about Bobby Lashley, and I'll come back to it. Anyway, sorry, my bad. But that being said, this was a really, really good match. Obviously, it ended with Aleister winning. Buddy Murphy just ended up sitting by the ring, which I'll get into in just a minute. So let me go backtrack because I totally missed this on my notes. But we had Rusev versus Bobby Lashley. Lana obviously was out there with Bobby. And during the match, Liv actually ended up coming down to the ring, and her and Lana got into a little bit of a fist fight, a cat fight outside the, like, you know, whatever. And Lana threw a drink in Liv's face and then threw her into the barricade. And Liv sold that Coke also like it was acid. It was kind of wild. But this ended up with Rusev getting distracted, Bobby scoring the win, and then we have a match between these couples next week. So it's going to be interesting. But I'm excited to see Liv back in action, and I'm excited to actually see Lana back in action, because I feel like they haven't really gotten to show everything they have. I don't know how much they've been training outside of this, but you know, I feel like we haven't gotten to see a whole lot of that. So that's the only part of this that I'm kind of excited about. Going back to what I said, now that I can fast forward, the main event was The Big Show, Samoa Joe, and Kevin Owens versus AOP and Seth Rollins in a fist fight, which basically just meant whoever, like when the referee decided they couldn't get up anymore than the other team, was the winner. Odd. I don't, whatever. They just make up matches now. But this whole match was actually really great. I thought, for what it was, for being kind of weird, I thought it was actually a really good match. And Kevin Owens had this awesome spot where he like ran up the side of the like Triton, whatever, Triton, is that what it's called? I don't know. That thing that's like curved. He ran up it and did this like flip, and everybody was like, he looks like Sonic the Hedgehog. I thought it was so funny. And then what ended up happening, like I said, Buddy Murphy like was sitting at ringside after he lost his match to Aleister. He ends up getting involved and helping Seth and the AOP actually end up winning, and then kind of joins this little group. And this is actually not a bad thing, because I feel like he's a really good wrestler who hasn't been showcased too much. Like his showcasing has really been through these matches with Aleister, and it's nice to see him kind of get put into this group, and it's unexpected. It wasn't something that was expected, and I think it was different. So overall, I thought Raw this week was actually pretty decent. I would definitely give it like a B+. I thought it was pretty good. So we're getting better. We're getting better. Like I said, once we get towards the like Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, things start to seem to improve. All right, now on to NXT. We had quite a bit of stuff. So Keith Lee started out giving this kind of speech to the audience, and yeah, he was doing really good with his promo. And of course, he's challenging Roderick Strong for the North American Championship next week. So he was saying how he's going to become the new North American champion. Obviously, this led to Undisputed Era coming out. They attacked him. Tommaso Ciampa came out, helped him out, cleared out the ring. That was that. Then we got a couple of matches in the Dusty Classic. So we got, Matt Riddle, Pete Dunne versus Andrews and Webster, which are an NXT UK team. This was a really, really good match. I thought these teams were really doing well together, especially for Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne to not be like an actual team. I thought they worked really well together, and I really liked this match. I thought it was good. So actually, both these tag team matches were good, so let me just be honest. But that was really good. Riddle and Dunne ended up getting the win, so they advance. And then we also got a reunification of a team, which was Kushida and Alex Shelley. Now, I'm not like super knowledgeable of this, so I don't know their past history, but you could tell that they clearly were very, very over with the crowd, and that's awesome. They faced the grizzled young veterans, so I naturally assumed that they were going to win, and I was very shocked when they didn't, as I think pretty much everyone was. But I'm interested to see what happens with that in the future. I don't know. I guess Alex Shelley's a free agent. I'm not sure exactly, but I thought it was pretty interesting, so we'll see. We also got a triple threat match, which was Lio Rush versus Tyler Breeze versus Isaiah Swerve Scott, and this was actually a really good triple threat match as well. I thought it was really good, and I didn't understand. I don't know if I'm stupid or if I just didn't understand this or if I just didn't catch it when I was watching it, but I'm assuming there's, for the Cruiserweight title, there's a fatal 4-way, so they're winning to get into the match. That's a fatal 4-way. So I don't really understand why they didn't just put these 3 versus Angel Garza, but anyways, maybe I'm just confused. I might have just missed that. I wasn't like really thinking about it when I was watching it. I remember like hearing it, what it was, but I don't know if it just didn't process in my brain or if I'm just not thinking about it clearly right now, but I think that was actually what it was for. So yeah, I don't know why that one just like kind of went over my head. And I was watching, but I was like doing stuff while I was watching it, so maybe that's why. But anyways, I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be a fatal 4-way. That's, if I'm wrong, you can correct me. I was doing stuff while I was watching this, but like when the match started, I started to watch the match, but then I don't know if I just missed what it was for. But regardless, that was a really good match. Then we also got Tommaso Ciampa. He was back out talking about how he wants to get back his title, his NXT championship, because he never lost it. He got injured, which Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era did not take nicely to, and they attacked him in the same fashion that they attacked Keith Lee earlier, which then led into Johnny Gargano helping him out, and we're getting a reuniting of DIY at Worlds Collide, so that's exciting. And then finally we got the Battle Royal for the NXT Women's #1 contender, and that will be for the match at TakeOver Portland. And this was really, really great. We got some great like interesting people coming back. Casey Catanzaro, I thought she was gone, which is pretty cool that she showed back up. Mercedes Martinez, who just got signed, was in this. Shayna showed up, which was crazy. And then Tegan Nox came back from her injury, or, well, yeah, I mean, like, I don't know if it was a real injury, but, like, you know, when she got attacked. So it was good. I really liked it. I like that they showcased a lot of people. Sometimes the people that haven't been necessarily as seen on TV. It was nice to see some of them in there. It was nice to see some newer people. Definitely spots that I thought were really good. I thought having Mercedes Martinez and Shayna Baszler kind of battle it out was really good. Having Shotzi Blackheart eliminate Shayna Baszler I thought was also really good. And then the last like segment between Io and Tegan Nox getting eliminated because of Dakota Kai was also really good, because we're keeping the storytelling there. And And then finally having Io and Bianca, after their fallout last week during their match, having them be the last two and having them just put on a really, really great showing. There were so many times where you thought one of them was going to go over and they didn't, and it really was awesome. I loved watching it. And it actually ended up with Bianca winning, which is cool. I'm definitely fine with that. I know a lot of people wanted Io to win, but I'm be honest, like, I don't think Rhea's losing the title anytime soon. I could see Rhea maybe losing the title sometime around WrestleMania. I don't think they're going to keep the title on her nearly as long as they kept it on Shayna, by any means. I think they're going to try to protect that, but I could definitely see her if and when she loses it. I see it happening sometime around WrestleMania, and maybe it will be Io that takes it from her. I don't know, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I definitely don't think she's losing to Tony, and I definitely don't think she's going to lose to Bianca, but I think that having Bianca there for that, she's gonna put on a good show with her, and it's gonna be a really good match. So moving on now. Oh, and NXT, I give NXT an A. Obviously, I always give NXT an A. They always do a great job, so A for NXT. SmackDown. So SmackDown started with Kane, and I love Kane, so I was like super lit to see him. And then halfway through him kind of talking, we get Bray Wyatt on the screen, and Bray Wyatt's like, the Fiend never forgets. And I'm guessing, I wasn't watching WWE at this point. I had kind of like taken a break from WWE. But I'm guessing at some point, like when Bray Wyatt first started, he had kind of like a feud with Kane. So there was like flashes to that. And then this led to the Fiend showing up in the ring, which Kane was already out of the ring. So I was like, what's happening? Like, I was like, something else is gonna happen, which then led into Daniel Bryan attacking the Fiend out of nowhere, and the Fiend actually like kind of like ran away from Daniel Bryan, which led into Daniel Bryan saying that the stipulation for their match is going to be a strap match, which basically means they're going to be essentially tied to each other. Do I think this is going to be the world's greatest match? I don't know. That's kind of a weird stipulation to me, but I feel like Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt are both really good, so I think they'll pull off something good. But I don't know about that one. But I think it'll be good regardless. It's a weird stipulation, but I think they can pull it off. Then we got John Morrison in his returning match versus Big E, and this was a good match, honestly. I thought John Morrison looked really good in the ring. Big E and him were having a really good match. Obviously, you know, you have Kofi on the outside, you have The Miz on the outside, they're kind of interfering. And overall, like, I thought it was good, and John Morrison picked up the win. So it was good for him for his returning match, and I definitely see that being a tag team titles match, those two teams versus each other. I could definitely 100% see that, and them having John Morrison and The Miz kind of reunite and get the titles, which I'm okay with. I'm not too mad about that. I got another tag team match, which was the Revivals versus the Usos. The Revival is just going to be on a losing streak, I'm pretty sure, for their remaining days. I think their contract ends in like April or May, so unless they're planning on re-signing, they're probably going to be on this losing streak, unfortunately for them. That's just usually how WWE plays things. So that was kind of expected. Then after the match, the Revival was having an interview, which got interrupted by the fight in the back between Lacey and Sasha and Bailey. And of course, Sasha is like laying on the floor hurt because she can't possibly wrestle. I really wish they would quit promoting these matches between Sasha and Lacey that aren't going to happen. So Sasha's in there all injured. This random man that I don't know who he is, to be completely honest with you, came in and was like, well, Bailey, you're taking Sasha's spot, which led into a match. And honestly, Lacey was very over with the crowd. Lacey's not, I mean, Lacey's from South Carolina, which, I mean, they were in North Carolina. So actually they weren't even that far from me. They were like 2 hours from where I live. So I'm not surprised she got a really big pop. But Lacey, you know, she looks good. Lacey looks a lot better than she did when she was first coming on to the scene and like they had her fighting Becky. This was a lot better, I thought. And I like that her woman's right kind of just like comes out of nowhere. So it was actually pretty good. She beat Bailey clean, and that's leading into them having a match. So interesting. I'm interested actually. Then we got another Elias song, which led to Sami Zayn and Cesaro and Shinsuke all coming out. And then they ganged up on Elias because they didn't like what he was thinking about. And then Braun Strowman came out and destroyed them all, which is obviously going to lead into Braun versus Shinsuke at some point for the Intercontinental Championship. Then we got a match between Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. I'm not Mandy Rose, Jesus Christ, versus Alexa Bliss. Mandy Rose was there though, I'm so sorry. That would be a match. When Sonya and Mandy finally break up and they actually have a match. No, so this match was super quick. Sonya wanted Mandy to invite Otis out because last week he helped her get the win. This week it did not favor Sonya to have him out there. At one point Mandy jumped up on the apron and Nikki jumped back up on the apron and pushed her off. Otis caught Mandy. Sonya was so distracted by this sight that she got rolled up and Alexa got the win. Because, you know, that roll up, it's devastating. And, I mean, this Mandy and Otis storyline is cute. I'm not mad about it, but Jesus Christ, I'm so tired of these surprise roll-ups. Like, can we please? I feel like every women's match recently on SmackDown is, like, ending with this. Like, especially in the mid-card. Like, God, like, just give them a decent match. Especially Sonya. Sonya can wrestle. Like, just let her and Alexa go at it. Like, so annoying. Okay, but anyways, I'm moving on. And then the very last match was Robert Roode versus... God, I'm like blanking because I was thinking about how annoyed I am about this roll-up situation. Okay, Robert Roode versus Roman Reigns in a tables match. I love a good tables match. Of course, you know, you gotta have Dolph Ziggler getting interference. You gotta have Baron Corbin interfering. But then the Usos are also gonna interfere. And it was just a whole thing. So, in the end, Roman Reigns was able to spear Robert Roode through a table. And basically with him winning, he gets to pick the stipulation for his and Baron's match. Their 80,000th match that they've had this year. Yes. He got to pick the stipulation for it, which is going to be a Fall Count Anywhere match. And I swear to you, if this is not the end of this, I might scream. I need this to be the end. I need us to move on. And also, are they also in the Royal Rumble? Because I'm very confused. Like, are they in the Royal Rumble too? They're having this match, this Falls Count Anywhere match. It's going to be very brutal. And then they're going to be in the Royal Rumble. Is that what's happening? I'm confused. Like, I don't understand. I'm very confused. I'm very confused. Anyways, that being said, SmackDown was okay to me this week. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. And I give it like a B-. I feel like it's definitely not the worst show we've had. I feel like there was definitely some high points, but I feel like it can always improve, especially with the quality of the matches, and especially with their women's division. They need to work on it because it's a mess. Like, I don't know. I just can't stand. If I see another surprise roll-up, I'm going to scream. If I see another match between Baron Corbin and Roman Reigns, I'm going to scream. But I obviously am hoping that's going to end at the Royal Rumble. Fingers crossed. But that being said, that is my review of the week. Let me know what you guys think. Obviously, next Sunday is the Royal Rumble. So I'll probably have 2 separate videos. I'll have this video plus a review of the Royal Rumble. But I'll let you guys know when I get there. That being said, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.